Teal dear, this is what happens when a conspiracy theorist becomes an ideologue. Seriously, I have never seen this level of paranoia before. It's actually quite intriguing. So let's get stuck on in there, shall we? And watch as I get owned by MGTOWmafia. When you have to announce your victory in the title of the video, that's really not a good sign. Almost like you're saying to your audience, please believe me that I beat this guy in a battle of wits on the interwebs. I know I probably shouldn't pick on the mentally handicapped, but I'm going to anyway because it's hilarious. Roll it.
Greetings, fellow MGTOW gangsters. This is the video that you all been waiting for. Fiddle dear. In this video, I'm gonna expose you as a coward and a hypocrite and a phony.
Okay.
See, I've noticed the pattern in the ways you attack other people. You're going after small MGTOW and feminist channels, while at the same time, you're ass-kissing the big ones.
Okay, so I only go after small feminist channels and ass-kiss big ones, right? Which is why I've pointed out stupid things said by Feminist Frequency, who has more subscribers than me, Lacey Green, who has more subscribers than me, Think Tank, who have more subscribers than me, Anisian, who has more subscribers than me, and at the time that you made this video about a month ago, Steve Shives, who about a month ago had a comparable number of subscribers to me, and Marina Shut Up, who had a comparable number of subscribers to me. Then there was Soundly Awake, who has more subscribers than me, and we can't forget good old BuzzFeed. These are just a few of the channels that have espoused feminist ideals that I have found objectionable and then picked apart using as objective and empirical data as I can. If your logic is true, because these channels have larger subscriber numbers than me, I should be kissing their asses, and yet I'm not. And then, of course, there's the numerous examples of smaller channels that have espoused feminist ideas that I found objectionable and pointed out what I believe to be their flaws, such as those pesky dames, Jake Bolton, Clown Baby, and Miss Zelda Nez, all of whom you'll notice have less subscribers than me. What this pattern should tell you is that I'm actually indiscriminate when it comes to subscriber count because I don't consider it to be a relevant number. To try and state that someone's message has more weight because they have more subscribers or less because they have fewer is simply a fallacious argument known as the argumentum ad populum. And then, in regards to your comments about the MGTOW side of things, I have only had disagreements with 2 MGTOW content producers on YouTube thus far, that is, Sexy MGTOW and MGTOW United. 3 if you want to add yourself into that mix, which I assume you do. But now let's consider the MGTOW content producers on YouTube who I have collaborated with, Stardusk and Xpaladoc. Both of them have less subscribers than me. But by your logic, if I wanted to be arse-kissing the biggest MGTOW channels out there, why would I not do collaborations with someone like Sandman? Again, it's almost as if subscriber count is an irrelevancy to me, and I'm more concerned with the content of the videos. There was actually an excellent video a few days ago done by CSMGTOW, where he somewhat highlighted the irrelevancy of subscriber number to a channel because you have to consider subscriber number to view ratio. And he does a nice little visual breakdown of Stardusk's channel compared to Sandman's channel in that video, which highlights rather well that subscriber count is actually irrelevant. What actually matters is engagement numbers. But this is somewhat by the by, and I'm rambling. Let's get back on topic, since I've demonstrated that your assertion is entirely untrue.
See, that alone proves you're a subscriber whore, and not founded on strong principles.
Again with this subscriber whore accusation. Seriously, if you did not want to gain subscribers, you would never start a channel. Why else would you do it? Some channels grow, some channels don't. That is entirely up to the free market of ideas to decide. I can't force people to subscribe to my channel. People will do what they want to do. And I will level the same challenge at you as I leveled to MGTOW United. Tell me who exactly I'm supposed to be whoring myself out to when I point out stupid and fallacious arguments made by everyone, regardless of their ideology or philosophy.
And you made a name for yourself by bashing other MGTOW.
Did I? Did I really? Because if you look through my videos chronologically, you will find that there are 27 of them over the course of 5 months before I even get to the first MGTOW related video that I released. But yeah, that's totally the point where everything exploded for me, despite the fact that it is actually one of the least trafficked videos on my channel. In fact, let's just look at the subscriber analytics for the entirety of my channel from birth to current day. And I'm just going to mark on the 4 videos where I have attacked MGTOW, as you like to put it, even though I'm just pointing out stupidity of individuals, not the entire movement, but that's another issue for another time. So those little red marks denote the 4th of February, the first Sexy MGTOW video, the 4th of March, the second Sexy MGTOW video, the 14th of April, the first MGTOW United video, and the 26th of June, the second MGTOW United video. And look at the massive jump of subscribers that I get on that day and on the days for— oh no, wait, there isn't. There is in fact no notable increase of subscribers in regards to those MGTOW videos in any way at all. But please keep telling me how I made a name for myself by bashing MGTOW. Because the funny thing is, if you actually look at 3 of those data points on 3 of those MGTOW release videos, I actually slowed down in my gain of subscribers after them rather than increasing. It's almost as if your position is total bullshit.
And you made a name for yourself by bashing other MGTOW and making them feel the way I'm gonna make you feel with this fucking video.
Oh no, not my precious fifis.
So let's start from the beginning. Veronica C. Clark posted a video not very long time ago in which she brought up my channel along with Mayor of MGTOW and Angry MGTOW, aka MGTOW United. Now, to avoid any confusion, I was still under my old username, Macrosophrony. But it really doesn't matter, and you couldn't wait to suck up to her. So right after she posted her video, you attacked Angry MGTOW. Furthermore, you were so fucking stupid that you addressed the same video she did, and you thought that nobody's gonna notice? I mean, seriously, were you so eager to get on her good side and kiss her ass?
You see, this is where the hilarious paranoia begins. I have no idea who this person is that you're talking about, this Veronica C. Clark. And then on to the, you addressed the same video that she did. Well, it's kind of hard for me to know if someone's addressed a video already if I don't know that that person exists. People send me links with requests to videos and articles on a daily basis. That particular video just happened to be one of them, and I thought, yeah, this guy's a fucking moron. I'm gonna do something about it. And so I did. It really is that simple. But as I pointed out at the beginning of this video, you are a paranoid conspiracy theorist, and we're going to see more of this evolve as the video goes on.
And we all know why I've decided to go after Angry MGTOW, and not me or Mayor of MGTOW. I mean, all 3 of us were in that video, but you've decided to go after Angry MGTOW because you're a pussy, because he was the easiest target. Now, you saw what Mayor of MGTOW did to Manhood Academy, and then you came to my channel, and you realized that I'm too fucking radical, I've got much less to lose, so you start bashing MGTOW United. I mean, that alone proves you to be coward.
Again, this is the paranoid conspiracy theorist coming out. I don't know about this video featuring you, MGTOW United, and Mayor of MGTOW. Never seen it. Don't even know where it is, wouldn't even know what it was called. And this hilarious idea that I came to your channel and was so scared of you. No, I have never fucking heard of your channel. In fact, the first time that I have ever heard of you as a person, as a content producer, is when you sent me the link to this video in a private message. Now, you would have thought that if I come to your channel so regularly to keep an eye on you because I am so terrified of you, that I would have found this video on my own. But no, you had to fucking beg for my attention, because you are frankly such a nobody within the MGTOW community that there is no way in hell I would have found it otherwise. But you keep going on with your paranoid narcissistic delusion.
MGTOW called you out in a video response. What did you do? You send your trolls on his channel, because you got a little personality cult backing you up, but that's not gonna save you from mafia.
I don't send anyone anywhere to do anything. I can't send anyone anywhere to do anything. All I do is make my responses and list my sources. What people who view my video then do in their own time is entirely up to them. But I find it funny that you've resorted to the typical feminist tactic of, I'm being harassed by a cult of trolls.
Now, Angry MGTOW had a Google Hangout with some other people, and instead of being a man and showing up, you had Psychological Cynic in there to speak on your behalf. I mean, you didn't have the balls to show up.
Again, this is the paranoid conspiracy theory coming out. I didn't send Psychological Cynic anywhere. He attended that hangout of his own free will. I do not control him. Also, in regards to attending Google Hangouts, you have to actually know that that hangout is taking place and be sent a link in order to attend and join the conversation. Now, I didn't know that that conversation was taking place, and I was never sent a link to be there. But as for you, Mr. MGTOWmafia, well, I had a Google Hangout where I was going to debate you live and totally destroy all of your positions, but you were such a pussy that you never showed up! Oh, no, wait, that's because you didn't know the hangout was taking place and I never sent you the link. At this point in time, I'm just going to have to point out that you're a fucking moron. Seriously, do you even technology? But this is what I mean about this narcissistic, paranoid delusion. You seem to think that you know everything that I'm doing and that I'm some omnipotent, omniscient being who knows everything that's happening everywhere at all times, and that therefore when I don't do something or when I do something, it's part of some grand conspiracy. Tell me, do you also happen to think that jet fuel can't melt steel beams?
Now, Psychological Cynic made a video in your support, and when I announced in the comment section of the same video that I'm gonna expose you and tear you a new asshole, all hell broke loose. Your little personality worshippers were panicking. They were fucking panicking. I mean, just look at the comment section of that video, and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. They were panicking at the slightest hint of any resistance.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Let's look at all the panic that you caused amongst my cult of personality. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of panic here. In fact, you make a bit of a stupid point and then someone says, yeah, there was a video where I bashed my subs, but it was not actually aimed at my subs entirely. It was just that some people asked me to criticize something that was obviously satire, so I made a little bit of a joke out of it. And then you go on to say, oh no, he's going to have a new arsehole pretty soon, it's going to be a treat, herp-de-derp. The response is, alrighty. And then someone sarcastically says, watch out, we've got a badass over here. Where is this panic that you're talking about? This is like textbook narcissism, because if you actually scroll through the entire conversation thread here, there is basically one person who is actually talking to you. But it's just hilarious how you think you're making these big waves and having a massive impact like you're some sort of big man.
So now that I have exposed you as a bitch and a coward...
Did you? I must have missed it.
Let's move on to hypocrisy. Now I'm going to refer to a video in which you went out of your way to sound as smart as possible. I'm talking about collaboration video with Stardust, and let me address that for a minute. See, I'm not impressed with fucking Stardust, or John the Other, or any other MRA reject, because I know exactly what they're trying to do. They try to co-opt MGTOW, just like you, trying to make a personal enterprise out of it.
If I was trying to co-opt MGTOW, you would have thought that I would be making a lot of MGTOW content talking about the philosophy and offering my opinion or my particular take on it. And yet that's something which I don't do. Generally, the only times that I will offer my opinion on it is when someone asks me about it in one of my AMA videos. And obviously the first few minutes of my first MGTOW talk done with Stardust, because, you know, it seems a reasonable thing to do. You know, why would you get someone on that show? Well, probably get their link to MGTOW out of the way and then move on to the actual interesting stuff. You can accuse me of trying to co-opt MGTOW as many times as you like, but you have to demonstrate how I'm doing that, and you're not going to be able to, because it's not happening. As for people like Stardust and John the Other, I'm not going to presume to speak for them, because it's not my place to. But from what I've seen of their content, they really don't strike me as the kind of people who have dedicated their lives to sitting at a computer at home thinking, how best can I mind control these fools through the internet today? Yes, in my mind, all evil thoughts are voiced by the Cobra Commander.
And their own version of MRA, which is exactly why Stardust had a problem with Sandman. He saw him as a competition. Now granted, many other MGTOW also have problem with Sandman, but for different reasons. Stardust was pissed because he was not a top guy, at least not with Sandman around. So I really don't give a fuck about those MRA rejects. But I digress. Let's go back to that video. Now the first few minutes you're complimenting each other, giving each other a hand job. It was really like, oh thinking ape, oh I love your voice so much, oh you sound so smart, oh yeah Tattledera, you too man, oh that hand feels so good on my cock. So I'll skip that part.
Because God forbid that people should actually be nice to each other. People being polite and respectful to each other? Heresy, I say! Also, do I detect a note of homophobia in your voice, judging by the contempt which you seem to hold for a fictional homosexual relationship? I wouldn't be surprised.
And then, this happens.
It's not then too far-flung to say that in the most technical sense of the acronym, you are a man going your own way.
Technically, absolutely. It's just not that I choose to associate myself with the label because of the extremists who I've already spoken out against.
Right.
Look, well, boy, your mama must be damn proud of you.
Kid, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Explain to me how it's even possible for a man to only be technically a MGTOW, and I'll explain how it's possible for a crocodile to be a fucking vegan.
Well, it's really quite simple. I am MGTOW in the most technical sense of the word. Someone who outright rejects the concept of marriage and thinks that it's something that either needs to be abolished from society entirely or severely reformed, but leaning considerably more towards outright abolition, because I don't believe that the state should have any right to interfere in someone's private relationship, outside of the obvious things such as cases of domestic violence. But then that's an issue that would be applied to violence across the board regardless of its circumstance. And beyond that, I strive for as deeper understanding of the human condition as much as possible, in regards to the overarching facets of the entirety of human nature, and then even further into the biological facets of male nature and female nature, and how these things have shaped and impact society, and how society feeds back into that. The reason for not entirely adopting the MGTOW label is basically because I don't think MGTOW is the only philosophy that rejects marriage, and indeed there are some MGTOW for whom this idea of understanding human nature isn't even a part of their own philosophy. It's like why, even though I do believe in women's rights, I would never call myself a feminist, because feminism doesn't have exclusive monopoly over that particular philosophical view. It's also covered by egalitarianism, and by the same token, why would I not call myself a men's rights activist? Again, because while they have that part of their philosophy over there, it's also covered within the philosophy of egalitarianism. So to call myself one or the other or both would be redundant. And the thing about MGTOW is that it has a few basic core premises, but the vast majority of it is tailored according to the individual, which is why there are some MGTOW who believe that you can have a long-term relationship with a woman. You just need to be aware of the biological and social interactions that go on between the two of you, and to make sure that neither party uses any of those powers or dynamics to unfairly leverage the other partner by changing the parameters of the relationship beyond their consent. In most cases, by using the force of the state. And then there's some MGTOW out there who will just say, no, you should never be in a relationship ever, because no good will ever come out of it. The thing with MGTOW is that it only has one label. It's not like if you were to talk to two Christians and one of them said they were a Catholic and the other was a Protestant, at which point you would instantly know the differences between the two. MGTOW only has the one label, which means that you have to do a lot of digging in order to find out what kind of MGTOW that particular MGTOW is. I just avoid that mental melee entirely. Also, it carries with it the advantage of meaning that I'm not instantly associated with morons like you.
See, you're cherry picking. You're borrowing those parts of MGTOW that can help you improve your PUA game and trying to get some pussy by playing hard to get.
Well, as I've already explained to you, MGTOW is an ever-changing philosophy. People will add to it and take away from it as suits their purpose. Someone who is as inflexible in their philosophical and moral beliefs as you seem to be is what people like to refer to as an ideological zealot. Someone whose mind is so small that they can't comprehend the possibility that some other people may just have different thoughts to yours. And we'll come to that PUA comment right about now.
Kid, let me tell you something. I had more and better pussy simply by acting like a man than you and all your pathetic little personality worshippers can put together.
Yeah, who's playing the PUA game here? Seriously, you are still measuring your life's worth by how much female validation you get. That is the total opposite of MGTOW. Before this point, I only thought that you didn't have a fucking clue what you're talking about. Now I know you don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
But you don't know that because you're not a man and you'll never be a man.
Of course not. I'm a deer. I care nothing for your inferior human standards.
You're just a scared little boy pretending to be a man.
Ah, that projection coming from behind the skirts of every woman you claim you've slept with. Classic.
Now I posed a very simple question to all those who defended you in a comment section, and that is whether or not you're a MGTOW. And I received a bunch of mixed signals, which really reminds me of women, and that is, he's not really a MGTOW even though he claims he is, and he's not cherry picking, but he picks and chooses what he likes from MGTOW. And that really makes me suspicious.
Maybe because all of my subscribers are individuals, capable of coming to their own conclusions on a topic based on the evidence in front of them. And being a group of individuals, some of them will come to different conclusions than others. This should not be a surprise to anyone with a brain.
I mean, you could easily be a woman.
Yeah, this is where the insane conspiracy theory starts. I think I may actually have to break out my trusty tinfoil headgear.
As well as those who are defending you. I mean, most of them don't even have an avatar picture, and your voice doesn't even sound natural, and we all know that voice can easily be altered through different software. I mean, all that denial and mixed signals, who knows, maybe you're some hot-looking bitch sitting behind keyboard, laughing her ass off.
Well, holy shit. You figured it all out. I'm just a woman on the internet, trying to cuck all of those straight white males with some alpha big black dick, so I can help our Jewish overlords usher in the New World Order. All hail our lizard people overlords.
Or maybe you're not hot. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna date you.
Oh, please, but you're so alpha.
Now, later on while talking to Stardust, you use Sexy MGTOW. And for those of you who are not familiar, Sexy MGTOW is another YouTube user. You used him as a vehicle to attack MGTOW philosophy. Now, some of my gangsters told me that Sexy MGTOW is a prig, that he is racist. Well, I don't know, maybe that's true. But you didn't call him out on that.
Actually, I did. I'm guessing you never actually watched those videos. He talks a lot about the quality of people reproducing in places like Japan, and there's a podcast floating around somewhere on YouTube where he expresses great concern about the genocide of the white race. But whatever.
Even if it is true, you didn't call him out on that. You never said a fucking word about it. And this is what you said.
He was getting at the point that he seemed to be digging at this idea that women have some sort of moral deficiency in comparison to men, that men are capable of reaching a higher point at which point they are deemed to be human beings, and that women are sort of incapable of reaching this either emotional or intellectual capacity. Like, basically, he seemed to be getting at sort of women cannot have compassion, they cannot have empathy, they are purely sort of selfish beings incapable of looking outside themselves, and that he was sort of putting this into this female nature box over here, and that there is a male nature box over here, and this idea that men can break out of theirs and become MGTOW and learn everything, but no, all women just, they stay in their box over there, they're incapable of excelling beyond that. And I just looked at that and thought, what? How do you justify this kind of claim?
How do I justify it? You justified, motherfucker, on the beginning of the same video. Alimony, child support, broken families, no moral values. You said that, you condescending piece of shit.
And now you need to demonstrate to me how every woman is responsible for these things. Because that is basically the claim of women can't be human. The idea that no woman can ever not do these things.
And everything we just heard is exactly what every real MGTOW knows, not believes, knows, after being through the meat grinder of the system fueled by women. I mean, shit, you don't even know when you're lying anymore, which is why I suspect you to be a woman.
Sorry, I just can't get over that. You've gone so far off the deep end, you can't even see the surface anymore.
You've got the same attitude, same level of denial, and you sound like those in the vault who are now trying to infiltrate MGTOW. But you know what? If you want to join New Masculinity or MRA, I don't give a fuck.
and you give so little of a fuck that you made a video about it.
Just don't call yourself MGTOW anymore.
Did you miss this part from earlier in your own video?
It's not then too far-flung to say that in the most technical sense of the acronym, you are a man going your own way.
Technically, absolutely. It's just not that I choose to associate myself with the label because of the extremists who I've already spoken out against.
Right.
Yeah, you really don't pay that much attention to anything around you, do you?
Don't associate yourself with the MGTOW, and don't derail and confuse men who want to learn about real MGTOW.
Says the man claiming to be a MGTOW who still validates his life by how much female attention he gets. I think it's you who needs to stop associating yourself with MGTOW and stop confusing people who want to learn about MGTOW.
And most of all, don't be a bitch. Stop using trolls, and be ready to take it when you dish out. But you know what? Somehow, I don't think it will ever happen. Kid, the MGTOWmafia has reached its verdict.
For fuck's sake, die, will you? Give me that thing.
And the final sweep of your narcissistic delusion. Like you're some sort of mafia boss controlling everything who has all the power everywhere, despite the fact that in reality you are a total nobody that no one gives a fuck about. But hey, now that I've responded to your video, you get to play the victim card again, like the little bitch that you are, and you get to make a video crying about, "Oh, this troll army is coming and attacking me."